Salama, Puggy.
Hi. Caroline rang in a flap. She'd missed the 8:15 flight down, but she was getting the 9 o'clock, and I said that was fine because the girl from the North Shore Chronicle wasn't arriving till 11.
Baik saja, terima kasih. Ingam minam kopi saja. Saudara pun?
If that was tongues and you're telling me you've had a Pentecostal conversion, this close to an election is not a good time.
Bahasa Indonesian, actually. Very rusty Bahasa Indonesian from when we lived there. I said, I feel like a cup of coffee. And I asked you if you wanted one too. Shall we take a stroll down to Aussie's? On second thoughts, I'll make us one. Vanessa, you don't seem to have noticed my chipper mood.
Oh, no, I have, actually. Starting the day on a second language certainly seems to lift your spirits.
My spirits are lifted when I'm at peace with my Prime Minister.
You've spoken to Howard?
Well, as good as. I've spoken to Minchin and Abbott.
You approached Nick Minchin and Tony Abbott?
I chanced my arm. Despite the rumours, Vanessa, they are human beings just like the rest of us. Anyway, they now know the reason I didn't attend the Prime Minister's cocktail party had nothing to do with Costello or disloyalty. Or marriage problems. Or definitely not suicide.
You mean you told them that the door handle came off in your hand and you spent the whole night in the toilet?
Food poisoning.
Pardon?
That's what I told them. I said I'd been feeling a bit funny since lunch and suddenly it hit me. Actually, I used that excuse once at uni to get an essay extension.
Yeah, I think we all did.
And it gets better. They'd done their research on me, found out that I was somewhat of an Indonesian specialist in my former life. Now, there's a trade delegation arriving from Jakarta this afternoon, and the Prime Minister and Alexander have asked me to host a few friendly ales prior to the official reception.
And you said yes?
Yes, of course. I was just starting to feel like I'd taken root on my back foot, so I grabbed the nettle, seized the initiative, one little tiny white lie, and... well, a wee tweak of the truth. I remember feeling quite nauseous. And look where it's got me. Yes! Oh, God, Carolyn. Look, see if you can dig up a shirt for me, will you? One of those traditional types. And some Indonesian beer. Oh, and some finger food. Make them feel at home.
Fielding remains, as always, a committed Howard supporter.
Darling, that is marvellous. It's about time the PM's people started utilising your talents.
In fact,
I'm so proud that you had the courage to tell the Prime Minister the truth. You know, your honesty is what people instinctively respond to about you.
No, Alan, the problem was Mr. Fielding had food poisoning.
Have you had food poisoning?
Yes, well, Alan, unlike in your case, Mr. Fielding's happened to be genuine.
Have you or haven't you had food poisoning?
Well,
Hi, Mrs. Fielding. It was a case of almost, but the genii in our press gallery, they only understand absolutes.
yes.
Now, the girl from the North Shore Chronicle should be here any second. I've got some briefing papers for the interview.
Don't worry, darling. You'll do it on your ear.
Absolutely, it's parish pump stuff.
Yes, a day in the life of a local member, a nice photo, half a dozen paragraphs, just to let the voters know that I'm in here working for them.
Almost to the point of illness.
I'd leave health matters alone.
Yes. So would I.
We're very vulnerable on health at the moment. Look at Wooldridge. He grabbed his super and ran.
I thought it was to spend more time with his family.
Well, he will now that he's grabbed his super and run. Anyway, you won't have to worry about any of that, OK? I promise.
Thank you, Vanessa. That is reassuring.
Vanessa!
Oh, good. First time lucky. There are so many doors around this place. You must be Vanessa. I'm Annika Peterson, North Shore Chronicle.
Come in.
Oh, how crazy. I sat behind you on the flight down. If only we'd known.
Yes, 3 children. Jonathan, Elizabeth and Catherine.
And...
A C.
Right.
Look towards the camera, Mr. Fielding.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
And of course you devoted your time to bringing them up.
Oh, of course. And supporting Michael. He was setting up the business, working very long hours. I didn't miss having a career in the slightest. Didn't have time. Nor did I, or have I ever, felt deprived.
Just hold that one.
Are these colour?
Because I couldn't agree more with Jeanette Howard when she says a mother's role in the family is a rich, sometimes surprising, often wondrous experience. providing a great sense of fulfillment.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait to have kids, give this job away and bludge.
Bludge indeed.
Ah, the division bells. Duty calls. Country to run. Going well, darling?
Oh, marvellously. Anika went to PLC on a scholarship, and her mother owns that gorgeous florist near the station.
Oh,
Really?
She only works there.
And what a beautiful environment to work in.
Well, mustache. Very nice to talk to you.
Thanks, Mr. Fielding. It was terrific.
Now, speaking of Jeanette, she has truly been an inspiration to me in my life. Once upon a time, I didn't have the first clue how to cope with stressful situations. But these days, just like Jeanette, I distract myself with a load of washing.
Yes, I remember reading that about Mrs. Howard.
It sounds
Just
simple,
give me a second, I'll
but
be right there.
it really works.
Mrs. Fielding, I have to pick something up for Mr. Fielding.
It's fine, Vanessa. We're getting on famously.
Caroline's brilliant, Vanessa. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, it goes without saying. I'll be back soon.
So, Mrs. Howard, now, have you and Mr. Fielding ever met her? Or...
Oh, yes, on several occasions. Well, at official functions.
Indonesia Raya, Hiduplar Indonesia Raya, Hiduplar Indonesia Raya.
Mr. Fielding, are you all right?
Yeah, it's fine, thanks. Well, it's not exactly traditional. In fact, I'm not even sure it's Indonesian, but it'll have to do.
What are you singing?
What I'm thinking of singing, if I can get the words back. It's been so long.
Thinking of singing? When?
For the delegates. It's the Indonesian national anthem.
Mr. Fielding,
Vanessa, there are some things which, believe it or not, I happen to know more about than you. Indonesian culture, for one. What you might find embarrassing is not only standard practice in Indonesia, but very basic courtesy.
I don't want you to push your luck.
Well, I won't be doing it if I can't recall the lyrics. That would be embarrassing.
You know what I mean. You're coming off two disasters.
And riding high.
Yes, you got away with a little white lie.
A mild exaggeration.
Whatever, you got away with it. Please don't push your luck.
Vanessa, I hear what you're saying and I respect your opinion. But in this case, I believe I am in the best position to judge.
Mr. Fielding, they're for the delegates and they're very spicy.
Was it a nice division, darling?
As ever.
They've gone.
Oh, yes, all gone, all done. Lovely girl. A little to learn about motherhood.
And so how did it finish up?
A bit much about me, I fear. I told her that I was a self-admitted fly-by-night, that I'd only lived in the electorate for 17 years, but that you are a son of the soil, brought there straight from the hospital.
Every word true.
Sounds great. What else?
Well, I tried to talk mainly about Michael. Darling, I told her that you could play hardball with the best of them, if you have to, for a principle, but that you're not afraid to cry.
Well...
I told her that as long as I've known you, you've empathised with people doing it hard. And that so many people seem to be doing it hard these days, everywhere. I've seen people begging in the car park of the local Hoyts. And that you are, along with looking after the interest of every resident of Clifton, committed to helping the PM keep in touch with the real needs of these poor souls before we wind up with a permanent underclass.
I think we should kill the story at almost any cost, don't you?
Darling, I'm afraid you're going to have to understand that it's a whole different world down here. The truth has to be avoided at all costs.
But you don't lie. You're a hopeless liar.
Oh, he's getting better. Just colour we were thinking.
Oh, I reckon you're definitely going to look at 4. Easily 4.
Okay, 4 pages then.
And an insert.
Yeah, an insert could be good, but not on glossy paper.
Oh, I think you're going to need glossy paper. Definitely
Okay,
glossy.
okay. Glossy it is.
What about that walkathon?
Yes, I'm sure Mr. Fielding would love to sponsor your child in his school walkathon. How about $10 a kilometre?
Darling, it's all right. It's for the best.
Things happen, I guess.
I know, it's such a tragedy to have to pull the text, but it could so easily be seen as unpaid advertising and Mr. Fielding would have to draw a line at that.
Wouldn't want that.
Thank you, Justin.
Pleasure, Vanessa.
Okay, bye.
Terima kasih.
If that means I owe you, you do.
When we lived there, they adored him for his sincere attempts to come to terms with their very peculiar culture. Of course, I tried my little heart out.
Well, I think I've got the lyrics back.
Mr. Fielding,
Darling,
please-
Are you sure you won't stay and help me co-host the drinks?
Darling, it's been a bit of a day for me. I think that what I should do is fly home and lose myself in a load of washing.
No, darling. Please stay. It would be nice for you to be here when the Indonesians arrive.
Well, if you think I could help.
Help? Oh, you're my greatest asset. Saya hanya hampir dekat saja sini, tolong. This way.
Please, one more time, the song, if I have to beg you.
Vanessa, how many times do I have to tell you that political God, having, for whatever reason, punished me twice, is now obviously smiling on me? You got away with lying your pants off. I got away with a mild exaggeration.
I'm terribly sorry. Come through. The office is just around.
Let me see. Michael!
Feeling a little bad this afternoon. Can I just follow you this way? I'm sure he'll be feeling a little better soon. We'll come and some cocktails later on.
Hello, I'm Maxine McHugh, and from Sunday, I'm taking up the challenge to present ABC Local Radio's Sunday Profile, in-depth interviews with the week's news.